Hi and welcome back to another vlog. My name's Eva and I'm so glad that you found us. Today I think is week 7 of the hashtag £1.50 pantry challenge, so I'll be showing you that. It is about 1:15 and I still haven't eaten anything yet, so that is on the agenda. But before we jump into this vlog, please consider subscribing as we're bringing out new content all the time. On Fridays we have garden tours, on Mondays it's vlogs, and then Wednesdays we have things like grocery hauls or a craft thing. So let's get on with this vlog. First up is my breakfast, which is actually, as you can see, it's actually 1:15. It's actually lunch and breakfast. So in here I've just put some coconut milk, banana and a scoop of protein powder. Just bear with me, I will show you which protein powder I use. This is the protein powder I use. It's a vegan protein with Madagascar vanilla seeds. It's sugar free, 20 servings, high protein, vegan friendly. A plant-based protein in one source of fibre. So, and I will say it is really tasty, lovely flavour. And I also have it with the chocolate, and that is nice. To me, they do taste a little sweet, but that's not always a bad thing. Right, let's get on with this smoothie. I'm just going to go and grab some bits from my freezer to throw in there. Okay, I've just got some pineapple chunks, some mango chunks. I'm just going to sling those in. That's what's left out of the bag. Some frozen raspberries from my freezer from last year. So, sling a handful of those in. I've got my own greens powder. I'm going to sling in a teaspoon of that. Now I'll play some music while this blends. There we have it. Pour that into a jar. Spatula, I don't want to waste anything. That tastes lovely. And no, you cannot taste that greens powder in there. So let me clear up. And I will be back. I'd show you what I've got in my dehydrator today. We have rose petals. We had some peas that I've shelled and they're for dinner tonight. And the pods I've just shredded up and put in there. And what I will do with these is when they're dehydrated, I powder them and put them into the mixed greens that I've got that you've just seen me use in with my smoothie. We have basil. We have flat leaf parsley. We have dandelion, and we have some mange too. Mange too's from the garden, dandelions from the garden. That's actually from in the greenhouse, because we grow some in a tub in the greenhouse. They have great benefits. If you don't know about dandelion, go and search it up on your good friend Google, and it will tell you all about the great benefits that dandelion actually has to your health. And then we've got all different mints. I use this in my teas. I make a mint tea, so I just put all the different mints all in together, and that will make a lovely flavour tea. I have some thyme, some pansies and violas, some calendula, some lavender, some pineapple mint, and I've got some savoury there. And then we have carrot tops, nasturtiums, basil mint, parsley and oregano. So that's the basil mint, that's the parsley, and that is the oregano. So we have 3 trays on, and I literally have just taken off 2 trays of mushrooms and more of the flowers. There was lavender, calendula, violas and pansies. So I thought I would talk to you about stocking pantries. I know there's 101 YouTube channels on it, but this is my take on it. And I'm not scaremongering. That is not me. Don't want to be doing that. Don't even want to think about me doing that. Right, now, we do know there's grain shortages, don't we? If you didn't know, there are grain shortages due to the war in Ukraine. And their ships are stuck. I think it's in the Black Sea. The Russians aren't allowing them through, which is having obviously an impact worldwide. Now hopefully, from what I've been reading over the last few days, I think Russia is agreeing to allow the grain ships to go through the Black Sea, I think. But anyway, well, without grain to feed animals, we're not going to have any meat. And without grain, you're not going to have cereals. Without grain, you're not going to have your flowers. It has a massive knock-on effect. So, in preparation for all of that, I have 5 kids and me and my husband. So that's a family of 7. That is a lot to feed when you have shortages. Supply chain issues because the price of petrol and diesel have gone up, so people can't afford to fill their cars, their lorries, and it just, again, it's just a rolling knock-on effect, because if you haven't got lorries, if lorry drivers can't afford to fill up their lorries, it means that no food is being moved around from warehouses to shops, etc, etc. So, you know, everything's being thrown at us at the moment, which is fine. It's one of those things. It happens. It's, unfortunately, it's life. History repeating itself, maybe. But I was trying to think of ways that I could sort of give myself a little bit of food security here within my home without going over the top. And I decided I was going to invest in some wheat and some other grains. Now I've just pulled out a few just to show you. Wheat was a big one for us because I grind my own flours every Sunday to make my bread and anything else in that week that I want to do. Cake, waffles, pancakes. That literally is all pre-ground. As you can see, pre-ground. And we have wheat, we have spelt, and we have rye. Which reminds me, I must feed my sourdough. If I leave that out, perhaps it'll remind me. So I thought, okay, I always have got bread flour in. I buy mine from Costco, but I also love doing the grinding in my own grains. So now I've invested in another lot of wheat, and that was 5 kilos I invested in from Buy Whole Foods online. That come in, that was £9.17 for 5 kilos. So I've got that. There's several of these half-gallon jars. I also buy online. I will see if I can put a link to these jars in the description box below, because these are really good. Then I bought myself 2.5 kilos of barley, because I also use barley. This is pot barley, the one that you use for milling, and this makes a lovely flavoured bread with that. And then on top of that, I ordered myself 1 kilo of spelt grain just to keep topped up on that. It is something else that I always have in. I also had 1 kilo of oat groats, which is always handy to have in. Some green split peas, some cashew nut pieces, and some dried cranberries infused with apple juice. If you've never tried them, they are lovely. They are absolutely tasty. So that was my Buy Whole Foods online order. Then I also ordered 5 kilos of baking soda, so I have 2 of these, and again they're half-gallon sizes. 2 of these with 5 kilos of baking soda in. That was from Amazon, and that was a very good price as well. Yes, for 5 kilos that was $8.99. And because I've had to go dairy free because it's really upsetting my tummy. I know I had a sensitivity to dairy, but it's been playing up very bad these last few months. So I've gone dairy free. So I bought myself some yogurt starter, non-dairy. So I am hoping I can make myself some coconut milk yogurt. This was $7.99, and there are 4 packets in that. Each one I think is a litre, but you can keep using some of your yogurt to do your next batch, so it's like keeps on and on and on. So I'm pleased with that. What else did I get this week? Ah, I know. Porridge oats. 25 kilos. I'm not having my kids go hungry if there is no cereals. Plus, I use a lot of oat milk in my coffees, and I can use oat milk in my smoothies, as well as doing porridge, baked oatmeal, flapjacks, you name it. I use a lot of oats anyway. So let me see if I can find the price for that again. That was on Amazon, and that was $28.95. I'm also waiting for some other bits to come in. I'm waiting for some yeast, and I'm going to put that in my freezer because yeast, again, is something that I use a lot of. What do I have here? Actually, I have a brake bleeder. Which is that. Brake beater and vacuum pump. That's the vacuum pump. And these. And I will show you what we do. One's with a band and flat lid. Like that. We can do this one. See if we can get this one to seal. As you can hear. Hopefully I can get it to seal. I got some done yesterday, but you can guarantee on camera it's not going to work without fail. Push that on, stick the end of the brake bleeder in, and see if I can turn you slightly. That's it. And I'm not going to hold it in my hand and pump it like that. I'm actually going to rest it on top of my cooker and push down onto it. And we're going to keep going until we can't pump anymore, until this needle won't move. Take that off, and with any luck we would have sealed it. Yeah. There's no, the button's now sealed. So that's that one done. So that's that. So I've got one for the wide mouth jars. These obviously won't seal, so wide mouth jars and regular mouth. They were from Amazon. I think they were $14.99, and the brake bleeder was about £15–16. So that's not a bad price. So there is that. That's just something new I'm adding in and will be doing. I'll have to go through as many jars as I can at some point and go and seal them, because the more I seal, the longer they keep. So that is good. And when I went to Tesco's yesterday, there was a packet of bulgur and quinoa mix, and that was reduced down from, I think it was £2 down to 80p. So you bet I picked it up. So that I'm pleased with. Okay, let me clear my lot away. Let me get my starter of my sourdough out of the fridge, and we'll feed that, and we will discuss the 7th week of the hashtag £1.50 pantry challenge. Okay, that's our starter. That's my spatula, some spring water. I always use bottled water because chlorine in tap water is not your friend. Want of a better word. It will halt your starter. I won't be able to do it now. I want 50 grams. Okay, so that's the rye flour going in. And let's use some of this wheat up, and I'm just going to make that up to 50 grams with the wheat. There we are. My sourdough is a mixture of all sorts. I will use any flour in it, whatever I've got spare. It's like today I had some wheat and some rye. Other times it might be spelt or barley. So, and if I've run out completely, then I just use normal bread flour. You do not have to use all of them. You can just use one, and that is fine. Supposed to be 50 ml of water. I go by fill. But for now, I'm just doing what I call maintenance feed. It's where I just feed it once a week until I'm ready, or until I've got a couple of days where I can get on and make a sourdough loaf, because it does take several days. Okay, this is the hashtag £1.50 pantry challenge, and if you don't know what I've been doing with this, I will link a video up in the iCards of when I started this. As you can see, I keep all receipts, and I thought I'd just give you an overview of what I've bought so far, not including this week's pantry challenge. Okay, so in here we have 2 bags of pasta, bag of rice, porridge oats. We have bread flour. We do have some yeast. Yep, that's the yeast to go with the bread flour. We have a tomato and herb sauce. We have tins of custard, rice pudding, peaches, baked beans, mac and cheese sauce, a pasta bake, cheese and bacon, a ragu sauce, a sun-dried tomato and garlic couscous, some chicken stock cubes, some spaghetti hoops, chopped tomatoes, another spaghetti hoops, another baked beans, garden peas, baked beans, and peeled potatoes. And there are all the receipts. I keep it all together. Now, this week we have tomato soup. I'll show you the prices in a minute. They're 39 pence. Chicken soup, 36 pence. Tomato puree, 31 pence. And 2 tins of rice pudding, which were 20 pence each, which actually came to £1.46. And I had to get this on my normal shopping, so I've highlighted. There we are, you can see the prices there. And here we are, I've worked out at £1.46. So I was just a few pence under, which is fine because last week I was 4p over. So bear with me, I'll go and get my pad to show you how I keep track of that. Okay, and that's how I've got that breakdown. So we're to week 7, and this is when I've gone over. But week 3, 4, 5 and 7 were under, so that gave me 9p, but we've only overspent by 7p, so that gives us 2p extra for another week. So that's how I keep track of it. So if you have not thought about putting food by for hard times, now is your time. 6 months ago would have been a good time, but now is also a good time. Any time is a good time to do what I'm doing. And I'm just showing you it doesn't have to cost a lot to be able to do it. All this food in 7 weeks. I mean, that's a big box. You can see that on my cooker. And that is heavy. I'll have to get my husband to lift that back down for me, because I struggle with that because it's that heavy. So there's a lot of food here. So if you are doing anything and putting your putting stuff by in your pantry, or you're buying in bulk, I'd love to hear about it. And if you drop it in the comment section below, so I'd love to hear about what everybody else is doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm not doing this out of fear. I have no fear. And having a pantry is really absolutely nothing new to me. I've been what I call just in case. Okay, camera battery died. Not impressed with my camera. No, I was saying, having a stock pantry is absolutely nothing new to me. Something I've been doing for years. But I never used to call it pantry or prepping. It was always done, oh, I'm going to get, I don't know, 2 tins of baked beans. Oh, actually, no, I'll grab a third just in case. Oh, I need some pasta. Oh, I'll pick up 2 bags, one for now, one for just in case. My friends used to actually take the mickey out of me and say that they was going to have that on my headstone just in case, because that's all they ever heard was, oh, I do this just in case, or I buy that just in case. Well, I can tell you now, when COVID hit, my just in case paid off. When I caught it, and I've had it twice now, I wasn't worried. Why? Because I already had food in. I didn't have to run out. I didn't have to go panic buy. I had food in. I could feed my family without actually having to think much about it. But what it did do for me is make me realise where my holes were in my pantry, what I didn't have enough of. That was the biggest learning curve from this whole last couple of years, that I've learned where my holes were in my pantry. And I've also learned that it's quote called prepping, crapper pantry. And no, it doesn't mean that you're planning for the zombie apocalypse. It really doesn't. It just means that you're organised, and that if you're sick, you've got food in to cover your family. That's all it means to me, is that if we get an illness in the family, I mean, at the end of the day, I've got 5 kids. 2 are at work, 3 are at school. Well, the ones at school, you can imagine, tummy bugs go around, colds and flus and all sorts go around at school. So if we all come down with a nasty bug, I haven't got to worry. It's here. It's on my shelves. It's in my cupboards. No one has to worry. No one's going to starve. Not in this house. So I urge everyone, make life a little easier for yourselves and have a few bits extra in. I am showing you by this £1.50 challenge that you can get a little store up in your cupboard to give you a little peace of mind for those times that you may need it, for those times where you have a tummy bug or you have a flu, or you know, anything. You broke your leg and you can't get out to the shop and you've got no one around you. You've got food in, you haven't got to worry. So I urge everyone, give it a try, but don't go excessive. Don't go out and buy food that you do not use. Don't go out and buy dried beans and a load of pasta if you don't eat dried beans and pasta. That is just wasting your money. Everything in here is what we eat. There is nothing in this box that we do not eat. I am not going to go out and buy something if I'm not going to eat it. And I urge you to do the same. Just have a look in your cupboards, make a mental note. You know, what do we use? Do you use a lot of baked beans? Do you use soups? I suggest always getting some soups in. Chicken soup, tomato soup, cream of mushroom soup, anything like that. Because when you're ill, I think you've got a cold, you're not feeling 100%, you're not on death's door, but you're not feeling great. Just a little soup will fill you. It'll fill your belly. You haven't got to worry, you haven't got to think. It's very easy to do. Put it in a bowl, in the microwave, in a saucepan on the stove. You know, so easy. Takes the thought out of it. So, always buy what you eat. If you don't eat custard, don't buy custard. If you don't eat peaches, don't buy peaches. But if you do eat pears, buy pears. If you do eat fruit cocktail, buy fruit cocktail. Okay, so that's that. Well, that's it for this vlog, guys. If you've liked this video, please give it the big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, that way you will not miss a video. And if you're putting anything in your pantry, please drop it in the comments below, because that way it will help us all, because sometimes we forget things. You know, we forget things like condiments, ketchup, mustard, vinaigrettes, salt, vinegar, all of those we often forget. So if you drop your ideas in the comments, that'd be great, and we can work between us all. Okay, so until next time, guys, bye.